He goes, you might want to do that a little bit later. I said, do what? Shower? I go, listen, man, I just got off of work, man. I'm going to shower now. He goes, hey, player, you might want to do that a little bit later. I said, hey, listen, man, I'm not finna do it a little bit later. So then he says, hold up. So when he says that, like I turn to look and he's got a guy. Did you ever see anyone in prison get their cheeks clapped by another inmate?
First of all, I don't even know I'm not sure what that is. But what do you think that is? I hear guys say that all the time. They say like Big Hurt gonna come clap them cheeks or something. So are you saying that Big Hurt is
gonna slap them with your hand, or is he gonna make them clap?
I don't understand. Is this a sexual? This is sexual?
Of course it is.
Okay, I don't know.
Of course
Look,
it is.
It could be cheeks, like it will bow, like punch you in the face, cheek.
Yeah,
you got cheeks on your face.
You got 4 cheeks. Yes, you do.
Okay, so
I mean,
cheeks. Okay,
well,
so
I have, and it's to when I've heard the clapping, it was to 50 Cent's going in the club.
Stop. What are you doing?
Oh, I'm sorry.
This is serious. This is serious.
Going to the club. All right, sorry about that.
So what is this? So what was the question?
Have
we
you
ever seen?
Yes. No. And usually if someone gets if they get their cheeks clapped, that's not something you want to see anyway.
No. Well, here's what I did. What happened was I did hear a guy
getting clapped,
getting raped. Like I heard the screaming, the fighting, the whole thing.
Wow.
Right? And this was when I was in the Marshals lockup, and I was on the bottom cell, and they were in the upper right-hand corner. And later, when I found out later, like the next day, they were both gone. But when I heard what happened, because obviously they have different levels or different stories in the it was called Atlanta City Detention Center,
yes.
ACDC.
Yes.
So in that, we later found out from somebody who'd been in one of the cells with the guy that got raped. He came down. He told everybody, okay, this is what happened. It was such a weird situation, bro. Like the guy his cellie was a punk, and he got into a fight with him where he was saying that he was hitting on him. And so he then beats him up and rapes him. Wow. So you're saying you're mad at the punk because you're saying he's flirting with you or he's hitting on you. So you get angry, you then beat him up and rape him. Like that doesn't.
Well, it's like, if you're going to accuse me of this, why not do it? Like, you know, have a situation where your wife may accuse you of cheating. You're like,
yeah, and I get that situation. Like, I can see that one. You're already saying I'm cheating on you. Might as well go ahead and sleep with my secretary.
That's right.
Okay, I hear you.
So all right, you're right.
But if you said, Matt, I think you're flirting with me, I wouldn't be like, what? Boom, 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 drag you in the bedroom and yeah. No. First of all, is it rape if the guy puts on some soft music and lights some candles? I mean,
maybe not. Maybe it's
love.
So here's
maybe it's love.
True. So here's a situation I seen when I did county time. Well, I wouldn't. Yeah, I would say seen. You know. So and I forgot about
actually technically saw. But go ahead.
Seen saw.
No.
Saw. See.
It's saw. This is what I saw, not what I seen.
Okay, you're right.
Okay.
My mom would be upset about me getting that wrong. All right, this is what I saw. So I worked when I was in Cobb County in Georgia. Oh, I know, horrible. So I
county, not the U.S. Marshals holdover.
Not this is county. So there it's horrible. Like everything's open.
A different class of criminals.
Oh my gosh, it's open. But so when I first got there, right, they had. The toilets were like, you got to imagine like a line of toilets right here, a petition about this high, and then bunk beds. So I had to sleep, when I first got there, I had to sleep on the bed that's right here in the toilets. So if I'm sleeping and I turn over to face the bathroom, like I sleep on my side, I turn over, I'd wake up and there'd be somebody sitting right there on the toilet. Like I'd wake up and look them right in the eyes. Like, Jesus Christ. They turn over immediately. I'm like, hey, good morning. Hey, what's up, Joe?
I had a guy. I heard a guy say that the toilets were all like lined up.
Yes.
And they said guys will go and sit. Like this was in prison.
Yes.
There were no partition walls. So they would sit on there. So the toilets are like 2 feet apart. He said but no partition.
Oh, no partition. Yes, that's what I'm saying. There was no partition.
Okay, so this guy said that guys would come there with like a magazine. Of course, the magazine's all taped up. You know, for like a Dirty Pictures magazine. It's all taped up. and they would come there and they would fucking get like their whatever lotion.
Yeah.
And they just pull it out and start. And they sit on the toilet and jack off, looking at the picture while you're trying to taking a shit next to them, or trying to pee in the.
Yes.
And the guy's just sitting there.
Yeah, you have
and
to.
It's like, what's going on?
Yeah.
People are animals. You have no idea how people are animals.
You have to really get into your own zone, and ask yourself, what did you got yourself into?
So what happened?
All right. So what happened is, all right, this is how bad it was. Like I worked on where I cleaned the courthouse and all the police centers. So we went there at night. So my job was at night. I'd get back at midnight. Like I'd go to work at about 6, clean up different office buildings, government office, county office buildings, and get back about midnight. At midnight, I would get a shower. So I get in, grab my stuff for my shower, and I'm the only one in this unit that came back at night. So I go and I get in the shower, and as I'm getting in the shower, because like we said, you have to be in your own zone. As I'm getting in the shower, like I see someone like standing there. Like I don't know what he's doing, but he's like standing, moving, standing, but I don't look. So he's like right here, and the shower head's over here. So I just go and I get in the shower. And I turn the water on, I start showering, and I hear, hey, player. He calls me player. I'll never forget this. Hey, player. I'm like, yo, what's up? He goes, you might want to do that a little bit later. I said, do what? Shower? I go, listen, man, I just got off of work, man. I'm going to shower now. He goes, hey, player, you might want to do that a little bit later. I said, hey, listen, man, I'm not finna do it a little bit later. So then he says, hold up. So when he says that, like I turn to look, and he's got a guy against the wall, and he has to actually take 3 steps to back out of the guy, like, and like as he's backing up, of course I glance, and I'm like, holy slogs.
And you said, maybe I should do this later.
I'm thinking I should do this a little bit later.
Yeah.
Like I grabbed everything. It's like I was moving in reverse, putting my clothes back on as I back out of the shower and haul ass. Yes, I've seen some clapping, but I really didn't see the clapping. I just saw the exit of the clapping.
Okay, so I didn't see the clapping, let's say. So one, I told you the rape, because I was thinking more like a rape type thing.
Right.
Also, but I have, like in the low, there were cubicles.
Right.
There was a time when I walked by a cubicle and there was this old man. God, he was old man, Puerto Rican, didn't speak English. God, I forget what his name was. He was probably in his 60s. He had a young punk boyfriend who was probably in his late 20s, early 30s. What was his name? Aaron? Anyway, doesn't matter. So the old man ran a store. Like people... a store is where they basically keep almost everything in commissary, in their locker and in other people's lockers, and you can buy it. So you go and you say, hey, I want a honey bun that's $2, but you give him $3 and he gives you a honey bun. So it's right there. You don't have to wait a week to go.
Right.
People run out and they run up and then they'll also give you a credit.
Right.
So then at the end of the week, they go and they say, hey, you owe me $40. I want you to buy this from commissary for me. And so he's constantly just turning, he's making a bunch of money just doing the books.
Right.
So he had a boyfriend. Gosh, I wish I could remember his name because he was so funny. You know what he used to say?
What?
He was in Puerto Rico. He'd shot 2 cops and he'd killed a cop in Puerto Rico back in like the 70s. And he got like 10 or 12 years. He's like, I killed a cop in Puerto Rico. I got 10 years. So he did 10 years. He goes, I came here. I sold a little bit of crack. They gave me 30. Came to the United States and was selling crack.
And he got 30.
And he got 30 years.
Ridiculous.
So in his early 20s, he got 10. He got like 10 or 15 years, but he only did 10 in Puerto Rico. He gets out when he's 30, comes to the United States, starts selling crack. Boom, they crack him in the head and give him like 30 years. So he's got this kid who's a punk. And so one day I'm walking by his cell, and he had a lookout. And I walked by the cell, and the lookout wasn't paying attention. And I walked by the cell, and I wasn't getting anything from the store. I just happened to walk by, and I glanced over, and I was like, holy Jesus. He had that spread eagle holding his, assuming he's holding his shit to the side or something. I don't know. And he's hitting it Guy's spread eagle, and he's banging away. Here's what's funny about that. So I just for like a split second, I was like, whoa, and I just kept walking. What was his name? Anyway, here's what's funny. So it got out that he's seeing this guy. He'd been seeing him but when I say got out, I mean got all the way back to his family in Puerto Rico. His 2 daughters fly into the United States, come to visitation, like we're talking immediately. He goes to visitation, and in visitation, they tell him no. And he goes, I'm lonely. I need companionship. And they're like, no. You get rid of him. Absolutely no. We don't want to hear anything more about this. It's a no. So he comes back from visitation. He calls the guy in there and breaks up with him. And keep in mind, he's basically just on the payroll.
Right.
So he's getting free stuff. I mean, he's fattening him up. I mean, so So that went on for I can't think of his name. Anyway, maybe a couple months later, it starts up all over again.
Of course, he's lonely.
He's lonely, the poor guy. So
and it was good, it was good.
So then the other thing is there was this little tiny Mexican that was probably 100 pounds. And I remember coming into, I actually write this in one of the books. I write about how I'd come into the unit one day and looked over, and there's like a little 12-year-old girl, 13-year-old girl sitting on a locker, kicking, you know how the lockers are about that high, kicking her feet with pigtails, singing to like Madonna or, whatever, Lady Gaga. And she's like, da, 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 going back and forth, kicking her little legs. And I walked by, I was like, the fuck did that how's there a 14-year-old or a 13-year-old little girl in here? And I was like, oh my God.
Oh yeah.
That's not, now keep in mind, they had 3 different punks at the low that had breast jobs. Titty job, that was a problem. So titty jobs, and one of them had the whole set. Titties, facial cheek implants, and the butt, the hip thing. But this was just a little tiny thing. Erica, her name was Erica. Very popular. Looked like a little 13 or 14-year-old girl.
Oh my God.
And I mean, you want to talk about the freaks coming out of the woodwork. Every guy that was out there that was now, all these dudes are like, whoa.
Willing to convert.
Listen, Erica had new shoes, tons of commissary, very popular. And so one day I went into the bathroom at like 1 o'clock in the morning because I'm and typically you didn't go into the bathroom after lights out. Like I peed, got in my, they peed, they did count, I laid down. You don't go in there because that's where it's Sodom and Gomorrah. But it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. I had to go in. I go in the bathroom, and Erica's in a shower stall with do you see like, first of all, you saw 2 legs, but you heard something going on, a lot of grunting. And then next thing you know, boom, the little legs drop down, boom, walks out, sachets down the thing. And I'm like, unbelievable. And then like 2-3 minutes later, this fucking dude comes walking out, and I glance over at him. He glances at me. He's just like, fuck. I'm like, yeah, bro. Yeah, I seen that. So bad. So, I mean, I've seen little bits and pieces here and there, but I've like only full on one I saw was the old man.
Yeah.
I love that wow. Did you hear that?
Yes, of course. I was trying to act like maybe it wasn't on the mic. I don't know.
But yeah, definitely, bro. Like, I mean, I love that the daughters flew in and said, absolutely not. You break it off right now.
Okay,
for 2
little
months.
For a little while. Un poquito.
Hey, by the way, just want to let you guys know, if you're interested in supporting me and supporting the channel and you like artwork, because I do have a degree in fine arts, I'm selling all of these paintings. They are modified screen prints, and they go for $285, and I will ship any one of them to you within the continental United States for the price of $285. My email will be in the description, so just shoot me an email, and I will ship you off a painting, and I really appreciate it. So back to the video.
All right. So, hey, Matt, I got a question. First, let me say, I know you guys handle yourself physically, but do yours get concerned for the safety? Because, I mean, yours talk very blunt about opinions, and maybe cartel guys listen to these What?
What is this guy saying, bro? I mean, I don't.
Nothing.
Yours,
All right, we'll go to the next question.
Yours?
Yes, yours.
So, oh wait, that we're worried about our family.
And this is not a good one either. Have you guys been to England? What experience did you have? Also, any European adventures or possibly scams?
I mean, I just got back from Amsterdam. There's no scams. I've been to England. I've been to
Me
Germany.
too.
I've been all over, but I never ran any scams
Well,
when I was doing it.
funny
Except
story.
for the fact I was traveling on a false passport.
Yeah, that's always a good thing. Only funny stories I have is I absolutely forget that our beer content or our alcohol content for beer and drinks is about 13%. And in other countries, it's more in the 50s and 40s. And so you're thinking, okay.
Yeah, your pint. Yeah.
That you can handle without a problem
Right.
here will floor you over there. You're like, wow. I only have one there.
Or you can walk into a McDonald's and get a beer. You can
Yes. You forget about that. Or the fact that they drink beer on commercials. What if that's rain? That's the air conditioner?
That's AC.
Oh. So, all right. Yeah, someone asked, what Sesame Street character do you most identify with?
Are you serious?
Yes.
Cookie Monster, of course. Don't be silly.
I would say Oscar the Grouch for you.
Oscar the Grouch?
Yeah. And I think I'm more Ernie, the black guy with the gay relationship with Bert.
What happened to the Muppets?
Oh, I love the Muppets.
Yeah. The two old men. I like the two old men.
Oh, yeah, the heckle them from the yeah.
Good times.
Yeah, no, that was.
You know, guys are calling me Chainsaw in the comment section now. Yo, Chainsaw, what's up, bro? I love that. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Chainsaw, he had 30 years, didn't he? No, he had.
No, I'm saying that I said I wanted to be called Chainsaw.
Oh, that's right. So now you're Chainsaw. All right. What kind of PTSD or pet peeves have you guys developed from being in prison?
What do you think? I mean, I wash my hands you should wash your hands anyway. But
Right.
I mean, I wash them probably 20 times a day, maybe 30. I used to wash my hands I was constantly washing my hands in prison, especially not so much in the medium, but when I got to the low, because you're sharing everything.
Right.
And I would say for the first 6 months that I got out after the halfway house, I felt would feel uncomfortable. Like around 4 o'clock and 10 o'clock, I felt weird. Like you feel like I'm supposed to be in my cell right now. Like they're coming to count. Like constantly felt like they were going to come get me because it's like they messed up and I shouldn't be out. Like they're going to come like, oh, Cox, hey, we just got something. You weren't supposed to be released. And I had that feeling for like a year or so.
I still have that a little bit. Trust. More so now, but a little bit I used to have that. The terminology, I still say chow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I still say
sweetener?
bunk.
What about sweetener?
Yeah, sweetener. Yeah. I still say bunk instead of bed. Yeah. I still have some of the terms.
I was filling out my dating profile, and I was like, basically, I'm looking for somebody I'm looking for a celly that will be down for my whole bid.
Absolutely. As a con man, what makes you think this guy is not a victim? Or I'm not going to take advantage of this person? Or are we all at risk? They're asking, like, what makes you
target someone? Why
right, or what makes us not target someone?
Right.
But
I don't really target anybody.
Yeah, we're not see, a con man, and this is why it has to be distinguished. A con man is someone like Barrington. Remember?
Yeah.
You know, con men take money from average people. They're like salesmen, and they convince a regular person to come off of their money. Right. A scam artist is like someone that runs a scam for anyone that'll fall for it. Like if I put on the internet, I'm selling solid gold coffee mugs, and I really paint coffee mugs gold. That's a scam, because anybody that will send me the money, you've fallen into my trap. Right. And
fraudsters, I don't know. I mean, I kind of feel like they all fall under con men, but yeah, but I see what you're saying. I was trying to think, like, fraudsters are basically trying to defraud banks and trying to, in my opinion. But I mean,
you come up with an idea to get money from a specific. I would think fraudsters are more institutional than just like con man or scam.
Yeah, my U.S. attorney constantly referred to me as a fraudster. He's a fraudster. He's a fraudster.
Me too.
Yeah.
So, but a con man will directly, and to me, a con man influences someone to give up their money. Whereas I think a scam artist actually doesn't influence. It's just kind of like something that's too good to be true, and they take advantage of it.
I think a lot of times too, I mean, to me, it was just like if I was trying to get your information, it was general. It was like I would run. If I was trying to get information to further a fraud that I was committing, I would run an ad and put it out there. Like, hey, good credit, bad credit, no problem. Home loans available, call. Free applications, call, and then the phone number. So to me, it's like I don't feel like I'm targeting anybody specific. Like anybody that reads the ad and is interested in getting a loan, they'll call. Like, right. So I wasn't, there was no.
So that was more scam.
It wasn't like I was like looking at you and talking to you going, yeah, I can convince them to give me $100,000.
Right.
I just need your information so I can get the bank to give me $1 million.
Right.
Like I don't need your $10,000 or $100,000. I'll get $1 million from the bank. Just give me your information.
Right. But it's amazing because in my perspective, because con men actually do target people and they can persuade them to give them money. Like, so they know their personalities, they know their sweet spots and their buttons to push that would convince that person, hey, this guy's pretty cool, I can trust him, and I guess pull them out of their bread. Yeah. Or they make an offer that they think that they can't refuse.
Well, that was the whole, like the Ponzi scheme type people that are
yes.
like, hey, or Marcus Schrinker, the guy that jumped out of the plane that ran like a Ponzi scheme, and he ran a churning scheme too. So he would target people that he knew he could, he would target other pilots because he knew he could get in there and they spoke the same language. So if you're both pilots, he knew they automatically trusted him.
Right.
And then he would try and get them to give him their retirement fund so he could invest. But he targeted specific people because he had a connection. I definitely think that con men target people that they can make a connection with.
Right.
Or can show a benefit to.
Yes.